to form quorum, so I shouldn't call us to order. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, so basically all we can do is introductions and maybe the presentation in the meantime, but we can't get fully quorum until 10:45, unfortunately.
Okay.
I don't think anyone else is available from any other tribes that we know of to join. Um, and so we're kind of in that limbo stage. Does anyone have any recommendations for how to proceed?
I mean, everyone kind of has a different take on it. We usually consider discussion action in Jefferson County too, so we're conservative that way, and we would probably wait to start the meeting as a presentation could be considered action according to a liberal interpretation of OPMA, but I'm open to the past practice of the PRTPO.
My opinion would be to go ahead and do the presentations, and any official actions would need to be delayed until we have a quorum.
Well,
I agree with that. Historically, that is how we've done it when we're short tribal member or one other city or something.
all right. Well, let's act on that past practice, and we'll go forward with some introductions. And I'll kind of call on folks since there's a lot of people here, and if you can just identify yourself, and if you are a PRTPO member or alternate as well, that would be great. I'm Greg Brotherton from Jefferson County and the new chair of PRTPO for 2026. Nicole, you want to say hi?
Hello, I'm Nicole Gauthier with Jefferson Transit Authority.
And here, and Steve from Clallam County Public Works.
Hi, Steve Gray. I'm the alternate for Canal County.
Thanks for being here. Randy?
Randy Netherland, Mason County Commissioner and board member.
Great. Amy?
Amy Asher, I'm the General Manager of Mason Transit Authority and your new secretary.
Thanks for being here. John?
Hi, I'm John Clausen. I'm the Executive Director of Kitsap Transit, and we're the lead planning agency for the PRTPO, except for Nicole being responsible for spending the dollars.
Yeah, that's important too. Fred, welcome.
Yeah. Fred Obie, Port Townsend City Council.
Thanks for being here. And Gunnar?
Yeah, good morning. Gunnar Frederickson, alternate for City of Bremerton.
Great. Thanks for being here. Brenda?
Hi, I'm Brenda Fantroy Johnson, council member for Bainbridge Island.
Great. Thanks for being here. And looks like we have one more from Bainbridge. Laura?
Hi, yes, I'm Laura Land, also council member, City of Bainbridge Island.
All right. Thanks for being here. Jason?
Hello, Jason McNichol from Clallam Transit.
Great. Thanks for being here. And Gary?
Good morning. Yes, Gary McVeigh, serve on City Council in the city of Paulsbo, and I'm succeeding Ed Stern, who was elected mayor last November. This is my first meeting, so please be kind to me.
All right. Welcome, Gary. We'll try. David?
David Fort, Kitsap County alternate.
Thanks for being here. Judy?
Judy Scott, Port of Allen Commissioner.
And Joe, blast from the past. How's it going?
Good to see you again, Greg. Joe Kaladich, multimodal planner in Washout's Olympic region, standing for George Mazer today.
Great to have you with us. Pete?
Pete Chemsland, alternate for the city of Sequim.
Great. Thanks for being here. And Michael, I think Michael. Yes. Hi.
Hi. Michael Bateman, City of Poulsbo, engineering alternate for the city of Poulsbo.
Great. And then I don't know if I've missed any board members. Please speak up if I did. But Amna, you want to say hi?
Emma Parson, PRTPO coordinator.
And Ed?
Hi, Ed Coviello, also a PRTPO coordinator.
Great. Thanks for being here, folks. And then Joanne, you want to say hi and maybe, I don't know if you have what's on deck includes a slide deck, but we'd love to hear what's going on for the Olympic region for 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I will attempt to share my screen. I tried to do it earlier and it's clunky, but I think I can do it. Let me know if you're seeing that.
Looks good.
Okay. And then if someone could watch the chat or raise hands for me, that'd be great. And we'll jump right in. Thanks for having me. I am filling in for my boss, Steve Rourke. I am Joanne Schuler, Assistant Region Administrator for Multimodal Development and Delivery for Olympic Region, which means I'm responsible for planning, programming, project development, all things pre-construction for Olympic Region, as well as our local programs office. And I will give you Olympic Region highlights as well as some agency-wide information. So let's jump right in. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. All right. And again, just stop me as questions come up, or we can entertain questions and discussion at the end. But Olympic Region for WSDOT at a glance has over 3,000 lane miles spread throughout 7 counties. We've got a lot of bridges of all types: movable, stationary, cable stay, floating, 6 ferry terminals, 4 safety rest areas, and almost 2,000 customers that use our transportation system. So a lot of going on here, a lot of responsibilities. And this slide shows you our different offices, maintenance areas, engineering offices as well. Okay, safety and preservation with complete streets principles is a focus of the department. We use a safe systems approach. We look at speeds in a new way. We focus on vulnerable road users and safety for all modes of transportation, not just your single occupancy vehicles of the past. Roundabouts are a first safety design option looked at because they reduce fatal crashes by 90% as the analysis nationwide, and serious injury crashes are reduced by 75%. Our preservation investments are not keeping up with demand. That's probably not a surprise to most of you. This graph shows in the green bar our lowest life cycle zone, and then the historical preservation funding blue line investment is much lower than what we need in the green zone. Essentially, the funding is currently just addressing about 40% of the need statewide. So the governor's proposed budget attempts to address the preservation need with a significant investment in bridges across the state, as well as paving projects, $1 billion in paving over the next 10 years, including $164 million for this upcoming construction season. His budget also includes $160 million for other infrastructure preservation and maintenance needs, as well as $1 billion investment in the Washington State Ferry System. We all know we're nearing the end of our legislative session, and I, for one, am anxiously waiting to see if there's any of this is going to stick and make it into an approved 2026 transportation budget. So wanted to turn to some projects that are in development in your area. This project, US 101 paving and complete streets project between Port Angeles and Sequim, has moved from the pre-design phase into design. And we are targeting construction in 2027. At the Port Angeles end of the project, the left side of your screen, along with the paving, we'll be adding improvements such as the repurposed shoulders for active transportation, high friction surface treatment, and extending median curbing. And then to the right side of the slide in the Sequim area, along with the paving, there will be 2 roundabouts constructed, ADA ramps, crosswalks, and sidewalk improvements at intersections, and again, repurposed shoulders for bike and peds in this area. SR3 freight corridor. This is a Legacy Connecting Washington project. The purpose is this regional mobility project is to provide an alternate route for highway users to travel around rather than through Belfair. The environmental dock is complete. The next critical project milestone will be an access hearing for the new corridor that's targeted to be held later this coming summer. And I've got the SR3 Gorse Planning Environmental Linkage Study slide here as well, funded through Move Ahead Washington Transportation Package. The purpose and need in this area centers around mobility challenges, safety performance, system resiliency, and active transportation. The team is completing level 2 evaluations of the alternatives as shown on this graphic, various crossings of the Sinclair Inlet, new alignments and improvements to the existing SR3 and SR16 alignments are all being looked at. Many of you here have reps either on the executive team or the technical team. This is the timeline for Gorse. You can see a lot of work on this effort to date has happened and lots of engagement with our partner agencies and tribes. We are gathering that feedback and drafting the Pell report now. And then shifting to construction. This is 2026 construction. A lot going on in the Olympic region. This is the 7 counties. There's 8 fish barriers that have various sites, removal of fish barriers in them, and several highway improvement projects, as you can see. Kind of a busy slide, but that's the indicative of the construction season upcoming. I know later in your agenda, you'll be touching on the Hood Canal Bridge operations request for temp opening variants during World Cup this summer. We have requested that of the Coast Guard and are awaiting response. We did get a response that they heard us, and that if there are no comments received after publication, then the request would be approved, but that is still in that queue. This is the Hood Canal Bridge center locks project that is continuing, will require nighttime closures this spring. Working with the contractor currently on the closure details, anticipating about 3 weeks of work starting in May. Another shot of Hood Canal Bridge, center locks and shock absorber project. Again, working with the contractor for more details so that we can communicate that out on schedule. Completion is targeting for mid to late summer this year. US 101 May Creek fish barrier removal has removed the culvert at May Creek under 101 at the Jefferson-Clallam County line. We started work on the site in spring of 24. It's a 175-foot long girder bridge, concrete girder bridge to replace that culvert. Alternating one-way traffic on the new bridge was opened last year. Two-way traffic will be restored by the end of this summer. There's still work out there restoring the creek channel below the new bridge. This is the SR112 preservation and maintenance project, the 2-season job. Work completed last year included drainage culvert crossings, embankment repairs, stabilization, and then some pavement repair work. And remaining work for this season would be HMA pre-leveling and mainline paving. Guardrail sign installation, pavement markings, rumble strips. So the contractor will resume work in mid-August of this year, coordinating around the bald eagle protection area windows. Touch on maintenance here, along with preservation. We have maintenance challenges, our system challenging just to keep it into a state of good repair, outstrips the funding we have. So materials, equipment, and labor continues to increase, cost increase, third-party damage, and resourcing for winter ops pulls crews away from our regular service. And then Mother Nature is always giving us new challenges to work on each year. Just December of last year, the rain and storm events gave us this this challenge here at Ruby Beach, US 101, milepost 164.9. We are monitoring. It's in the national park. As you can see, the roadway slope is failing. One-way alternating traffic's in place. It's a slide-prone area, and we will be needing to do an emergency contract for repair. As well as here, this contract at US 101 milepost 184.5. Emergency contract actually started this week. Lots of history and slides in this area as well. Soil nail wall, I believe, with shotcrete will be the 30-day emergency contract scope. Detour is in place. Oh, do we have a question? No? Okay.
No, I think someone's mic is just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this emergency repair will be, a contract is to keep one lane open. There will be a detour in place for this work, for nighttime closures, and then daytime one lane or one-way alternating traffic controlled by signal will remain in place. There will be a long-term permanent restoration need here. And to get that procurement and that contract going, it's going to be the better part of this year. So there will be one lane restriction anticipated for quite some time in this area of 101. So, and that is what I had for you. I'm here for questions and discussion.
Great. Thanks so much, Joanne. Questions for Joanne or about the general plans from WSDOT for 2026?
I have one question. It's
Go ahead.
Gary McVeigh from Paulsbo. Joanne, Mayor Stern and I and a couple other city staffers recently met with Amber Caldera, who was the tribal chair for the Port Gamble Sklallam tribe. And she gave us just a little bit of a briefing on, as I understand it, a NOAA grant to do some, it sounded like preliminary pre-design work for the Hood Canal Bridge to make it safer for fish, if you will, more conducive for fish migration. Do you know much about that? Any more information you can share with us on that? Or maybe perhaps this group has already discussed this, I don't know. But just looking to kind of set a baseline.
Yeah. So the Long Live the Kings is the advocacy group for that work. And the WSDOT and several others on this call, jurisdictions have been part of that effort, at least coordination in trying to support them in their efforts. They actually currently have a consultant contract to look at conceptual bridge replacement concepts. And so that is the latest I know. We certainly have been involving our bridge office and subject matter experts as requested. So I know they did public outreach as well. And so I actually anticipate them having a wrap up of a conceptual design that they would be pitching for, I assume, later this year.
Thanks, Joanne. Did anyone else want to weigh in on that? I know, there's lots of folks that have been participating in the conversations with Long Live the Kings about that design. I don't think anyone's come up with a funding scheme. I mean, this is kind of conceptual design at this point, I believe. See a few hands. Great. Any other questions? I'll ask a question, Joanne, and then we'll go over to Ed. Just kind of more general, it seems like there's a lot of projects still moving forward with the governor's budget and everything. How far are we on the fish passage barrier work? And I didn't see a lot of that in your presentation. Are we starting to wrap that up, at least on WSDOT roads?
Oh, wow. I wish I could say yes to that.
Yeah.
No, you didn't see a lot of it, but I did smatter it in there just because there's a lot of other things going on. But our fish program is actually very large and alive and well and going strong. So that's a large part of Olympic Region's project development and construction work. So yeah, we have an injunction deadline of 2030, which is fast approaching. And so we're not slowing down. We're utilizing all the funding that is given to us to try to make that happen.
And another question, this is maybe the wrong crowd for it, just kind of generally about that work, but is some organization banking mitigation dollars when we do fish passage work? Because I know that mitigation goes in. I'm just a little confused about some of the mitigation as we have some, are working with WSDOT and others in Jefferson County on things like South Shore Road and of course, other washouts and looking for the kind of expensive mitigation to do projects that have ecosystem services on the other side. I'm just wondering, do you guys bank those mitigation dollars for fish passage work?
I'm not aware of that ability to do that. That's a great idea. Someone should run with that, but I don't know that we have that ability.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I just heard that our local port is starting to do it for some of their larger projects, and of course, then they have to turn around and use it. So it is,
Yeah, we try to, leverage partnerships as much as possible. The US 101 Duckabush Estuary project is a great example where it's a DFW, WSDOT, Army Corps of Engineers partnership with the main intent to do the estuary restoration, but we're going to replace 2 fish barriers with that project too, and replace a bridge asset that will last a lot longer than what's out there now. So those opportunities we look for all the time.
Great. Yeah, that's a great project. It's exciting to see that one moving forward this year too. Okay, I'm sorry, Ed, did you have a question or comment?
Oh yeah, I was wondering if you could provide an update on 2 fish passage projects in Kitsap County. One's Bond Road, State Route 307, and then the other one is Central Valley Road and State Route 303. If you could have input on those.
I don't have a lot of detail. They are in design. Those are design build contracts, and so a lot of work getting those to construction eventually. But yeah, so there's been an open house for Central Valley in the last couple months, 2-3 months, and working with partner agencies on what those improvements will look like and what the impacts will be to local roads and so forth. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pete, did I see you unmuted?
Yes,
You have a question?
Yes, sir. I just was curious of the location because I didn't quite catch it for the roundabouts on 101 in the Squim area.
Yeah. Mill Road and Taylor Cutoff. As I say that, I need to look at my slide, make sure I'm being accurate. Yes, Mill Road, 2-lane roundabout, and Taylor Cutoff Road, 2-lane roundabout on 101.
So they're less than a mile apart.
Correct.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Big figure 8. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you for the annual update, ably standing in for Steve, and really appreciate your time this morning, Joanne.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We'll let you get on with your day and I guess riff ourselves for 20 minutes until we have participation to start a quorum.
Thanks for having me. May I request the slides as well, Joanne, before you go?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
For that. Okay, well, let's take a look at, we have a regular meeting agenda, so we can skip around a little bit and maybe take care of the retreat planning or I guess, the update on the Hood Canal Bridge, or the PRTPO coordinator update, right? Amna, none of those are requesting action.
Yes,
You want
so
to?
those are good. I would like Whitney, here for the retreat, portion, since she's the host for that, per se, so I want to make sure she's included in that discussion, so I think I would start with, those are very short, but for the PRTPO coordinator update information, I just wanted to flag the House Bill 2134 that came, that's currently, I believe it's still being voted on, and it may have moved from one stage to another stage. But basically it was a bill passed, there's a bill that's being proposed that is requesting RTPOs to be more to do additional work related to GHGs and sorry, 1 second. I'm trying to fully remember, not butcher what exactly this is. Sorry, 1 second. My nose is running away from me for some reason this morning.
Yeah. I looked through the bill verbiage that was attached with the package, but I wasn't sure what had changed. I get what changes with.
Yeah,
with
basically the
2144.
bill, through the help of John here at Kitsap Transit and the lobbyist here at Kitsap Transit, they were able to change the wording on the bill. The bill would have affected Kitsap County because and PRTPO, because Kitsap County is in 2 RTPOs. It's in the Puget Sound Regional Council and this organization. And so what they did was adjust the language in the proposed bill to basically, if a county is within 2 RTPOs, the work for inventorying greenhouse gas and vehicle miles traveled is then taken by the larger of the 2 RTPOs. So in this case, it would be PSRC that's going to do the work. So thank you, John, and the lobbyists at KT for saving PRTPO, because one of the challenges with the bill is there is no funding attached to it. So I watched one of the House Transportation Committee meeting hearings on it, and it passed 16-12. So now it's up to the Senate to, go forward with it if they choose to. It's on the, going to be on the House floor later this month. So that's where 2134 stands. It's really going to affect, the larger counties here in Washington State, but I think we're out of the woods right now.
That's great news. I remember that. Thank you, John, and the lobbyists from Kitsap Transit for preventing the PRTPO from being dragged into an unfunded mandate.
Yeah.
Did you want to add anything, John?
No, I think Ed pretty well covered it. And again, it was kind of targeted more at Kitsap than, the peninsula. So it's one of the reasons that I kind of went after it. And the amendment doesn't seem to have any opposition from the folks in Olympia. So if this does get passed, I'm pretty confident that it will include that exemption in there.
Great. Good news. Thanks for that and for that update. And maybe we jump into the Hood Canal Bridge update. I keep looking at the Federal Register that Ed keyed me into, but I haven't seen it yet, right?
It's not there.
You should look for U.S. Coast Guard. Is that what you should look for?
Yep.
That's like
Amna had me looking today, and I couldn't find anything. But we do have that email from the Coast Guard district headquarters. I think it's District 10 over here in Seattle. An email from February 6th that it will be published in the Register. And like Joanne said, if there are no comments received, then the rule will get approved and we'll go forward.
Is there any reason to I guess, drum up support for advocacy for the rule? Contra-wise, I guess, you know, I mean, is it
I think that,
only,
I mean,
you
I
know?
think that's valuable. What do you think, Amna? I think it's valuable for future efforts.
I believe drumming up for support or and awareness of it is good for future support. I don't necessarily think, I don't know if it's fully necessary, but I do think it's a good addition for it. I know people have a lot of comments about it and ideas, but I feel that it may go on their radar and this is even a topic of discussion. So I'm not sure how everyone is looking register all the time to know what's going on over there. So it would be nice if some people could be aware of it to make, positive affirmations about it. I wonder if there could be a big opposition from the boat community against it though. And I'm wondering if they're going against it, we have no one to help promote it on the positive side that would be a benefit.
Well, I guess
that's a good point.
what's the process to make a temporary rule permanent? I mean, of course, as I was looking through the Federal Register, I saw that 2012 rule where they changed the rush hour, practices, and it's interesting to get the antecedent, right there in the register. So it does feel like while we're in here, we should stay in here. I mean, at the risk of saying the quiet part out loud, temporary rule is great, but I think that everyone here would like to have regular openings for pleasure craft going forward. So what's the next step in that longer strategy that we should pursue?
From my understanding, from being a new person at the PRTPO, is there's no real pushback per se, but there's no movement at the same time. So I really believe that this is a step for us to get it out there and talk and have people talking about it for now to then make it permanent. But I don't believe we haven't discussed thus far a step after this happens. But I think our goal was to use this as a platform for a long-term solution. I know beforehand there's all the discussion of having research done and data collected about the usage of the bridge and how backups are an issue for the entire region. In order to showcase the need for this to be for a deviation to happen, and I think that doing that plus doing this temporary change can also help with that. I don't know if anyone here has any coordination or have talked to anyone about this separately about how to move forward after this.
That was encouragement for people to raise their hands, and got a few minutes to talk about this, but
I'm going to
Go ahead,
jump
John.
in, Greg, if it's all right, and just,
Please.
From my perspective, I think it's going to be one, we should be prepared to counter any negative comments that might be suggested. Not sure what that is. And two, which I think is probably going to be even more important, would be for us to kind of watch the temporary change and be able to figure out were there any problems, challenges, and use that as a basis for requesting a permanent change. Because clearly, if we can cite that during this temporary period, there were no issues, that I think would go a long way, but we need to be able to keep an eye on it so that we're familiar with any issues that might crop up during this temporary period.
I mean, I've struggled. I've heard struggles getting actual data from WSDOT about what are the traffic impacts when, I mean, it seems like it goes back to our $150,000 legislative ask to do a study, right? That's what we kind of need to happen at the same time that this experiment might be going on. Is that what you're suggesting, John?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's actually both sides, because I don't know that, I mean, there's always going to be negative comments when the bridge opens, period. But what I would be probably most interested in is to try to track down any negative comments from the boating community. because they're the ones that may be affected and may complain about this being implemented on a permanent basis. That's what I personally would be looking at, is being ready to respond to those kind of negative comments.
Right. And I think we could even get a lot of folks that are, voters to support it, right? I mean, our former coordinator, Thera, has talked about how you have to plan when you're out on an excursion to around these different machinations. So every voter that I've talked to says, oh yeah, it would be no problem to adjust our schedule to a bridge schedule, but until we have to, we don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the board interested in if I contact our Coast Guard representative and kind of establish a communication chain in terms of comments that are received and that kind of thing, to keep watch on what kind of comments come forth as this register is released?
We can't really give you direction quite yet, but I
Okay.
think that we would all welcome your initiative in that, Ed.
Okay. Yeah, because we don't have a quorum yet. So good point, Chair.
Well, I guess I could exercise a little bit of authority, because Kitsap Transit would be interested in that as well, because there is traffic that backs up on the Kitsap side when that bridge is open and closed. So I guess as Ed's supervisor, I think that's a great idea, Ed. Go forth and do good.
Thank you, John.
And then Jefferson Transit would also agree. Our Kingston Express route, where we connect with Kitsap Transit's Fast Ferry and Washington State Ferry in Kingston, is our fastest growing route, our most popular route by far. But also thinking along the same lines of making connections with Clallam Transit and the 123 straight shot. When we get backed up, folks are missing their ferries. So we're asking them to rely on public transit, and then it makes it increasingly difficult if when the bridge is open.
Great. Other thoughts on this, Fred?
No, I'm so new to this. I'm just going to school on it right now. But it's having been stuck at the bridge many times. I do understand the concerns of everybody, emergency vehicles as well as regular transit. It's a big issue for sure.
And I think we did have support from East Jefferson Fire and Rescue when we made the initial request, and tied it to health and safety was kind of I think maybe what moved it forward. So as we get positive comments, we might want to also reach out to our partners and fire and rescue, just to get that side recognized once we get it on the register. And maybe, Ed, I know that you're looking at it. I've been now. It's actually quite fascinating. It's a bit of a rabbit hole to dive into the Federal Register, but maybe we can let all the folks here know when it is up there, so we can all keep track and start to.
Will do.
I do have one comment.
Go ahead.
This isn't much difference than the Ballard locks and people having to wait to go through the locks, right? So voters should understand.
Yep. Okay, well, we're making it through our non-action items here. I guess we could talk about the UPWP. We're not taking any action on that. Who wants to lead this conversation about the update halfway through the UPWP?
Halfway through,
you got that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. The UPWP, every halfway point, we will go through it again and just make sure, make sure we are okay with how, with our current plan. Basically, it's a good time to review everything and to make sure we're on the same track. Things can change from one year to another very drastically. And so this is an opportunity for us to update it any way we see fit. We do have a meeting with WSDOT about UPWP as well to see if there's any additional new requirements they have for this review for this biennium. And lastly, what has happened previously that's commonly happened during this is that we review the unfunded section of the UPWP and then see if we want to update anything there. We did have a meeting, we did bring this up at the TAC. Some discussion went around certain projects on that list. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was B, E, F, and G. And most of them are related towards B is to convene Hood Canal Bridge Advocacy Group to assess operational strategies. The conversation at the TAC was trying to promote the idea that we need to rewrite that in a different way since we are seeking the deviation. Then the other one was E, to promote regional cooperation to improve ferry services reliability. And that was something maybe we need to be more active on it or rewrite it a little bit since it's been a big conversational piece. Due to, I believe that one ferry that one of the ferries from Washington State Ferries is having some issues. F is to convene a regional transportation reliance forum. And the last one is G, to facilitate the coordinated freight data collection process for local T2 and T3 routes. And that one was flagged because there's a lot of freight conversations we were having previously. I feel as though that Washington's doing a lot of freight updates this year, this first quarter. And so those were the came in the conversation. We're just open to receive any type of ideas about exactly what about any ideas from the board about how they want to move forward any kind of changes or modifications to the UPWP and specifically those underfunded projects list. I'm not sure it's a very exciting conversation that we had previously. It's the very first time around with this. I'm not sure if everyone kind of jumps to the gun to really want to to modify this list. We do have time for it, so it's supposed to come to you guys for adoption, I believe, in June. So we will have we will try to keep you up to date on this, but we only have about 2 more meetings to have full discussions about UPWP. So I just really wanted to make sure so just more preliminary. Hey guys, you have to do this. Any comments?
Well, I mean, like Fred and Gary, I'm pretty new to this, so I dug into it, but it seems great. I don't have any suggestions for modifications to the UPWP. It seems like it's pretty clearly laid out. Does anyone else have any thoughts or ideas they want to share in regards to the UPWP halfway through?
And I think, I just want to share with the board that generally in March or April of every year, but especially at the end of a biennium, keep in mind we're in the middle of the biennium, we'll get notification from WSDOT, tribal and regional planning, that maybe there's some funding left over. They'll have like $30,000 left over. And in the past, we've been able to jump on one of these unfunded projects and, try to get it done by, June 30th or that kind of thing. Since we're at the middle of the biennium, if there is any money left over from somebody who didn't complete, a grant or something like that, we'll have a little more time to tackle one of these unfunded projects.
Thanks. Gary?
Yeah, just a question. I noted that it appears that one of the primary focuses of the work plan is the Human Services Transportation Plan that happens every 4 years. I'm just wondering, when was the last time that was done? Is that still kind of fairly current, or is that due for renewal? Or
That's
So
on
it's-
our, we're going to talk about that,
Yeah.
but yeah, go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, so that was done in 2022, and it's a federally required plan. In this case, being a rural RTPO for the state, but we give our human services plan, transportation plan to the state. So we'll be doing one this summer, and hopefully
Okay.
wrapping it up by the fall.
Okay, great. Thank you for the update.
Once we have a quorum, we'll be hopefully approving the contractor, which familiar face. I assume in that it said the two PRTPO coordinators were among those that were evaluating the applications, and was that you guys, Amna and Ed? Or was that the old PRTPO coordinator who also is the applicant?
No,
we have the-
no. It was me and Ed.
Okay. Thanks. Gary?
Sorry. I just lowered my hand. That was my one question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry. Great. Any other thoughts on the UPWP? And we'll bring this back, of course. We've got a couple more meetings before we kind of ratify any changes you said at the June meeting, right? So first looks.
Does the work plan kind of stay the same largely from year to year, or does it change considerably
Well, it's a
depending
2-year
on?
plan, right? But
Okay.
that we're seeing if we need to change it, and so far, crickets. So
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was saying I believe that the change is really the change not year to year, but every time there's a review of UPWP, it's usually us trying it's usually a change if there's a shift in what the board sees about how what is our major concern or things we want to look into. I think that since the Hood Canal Bridge has always been a big topic, and ferries and coordination has always been a big thing here, the theme is similar, but I believe that the actual approach has shifted slightly every time we have done it. To my reading of the previous books. If I'm wrong, to anyone who's been here longer, please flag me.
Ed?
Yeah, it sounds correct. I just want to give an update. Marty Allen from Skokomish Tribe will be logging in here shortly. So hopefully we'll have a quorum here in just a minute.
Excellent. Thanks for the update.
Yep.
And I guess just on that, the main topics, obviously the Hood Canal Bridge is what I came in, interested to address, but there is movement too on the ferry side. Of course, we have six ferry terminals in the Peninsula RTPO region, and I'm just wondering if we should invite the new ferry caucus out to talk to us, or if there's any action that we want to take regarding some, I guess, movement legislatively on the state level on trying to advocate for ferry service.
For some reason, knowing that John likes ferries, my brain went to him immediately.
I mean, when we don't have to, I'm just wondering, is there another theme that we want to kind of add to this? And I'm not suggesting that we do, it seems like there's, more to do in there than we can actually get done. So I'm not suggesting it, just.
I think it'd be a good idea. Wouldn't hurt.
Thanks.
Yeah, one of the challenges with the Unified Planning Work Program is, our funding from the state has been pretty flat, for the last 20 years or so. And so the current UPWP allows us to do the core responsibilities as outlined in the RCW. And then we have, our wish list. And we just got to keep poking away at it. And, when opportunities come up, it's our job as coordinators to bring them to you and say, hey, do you want to run with this or not? So let's get some perspective.
Thanks.
But if you're seeking someone to present, to just come and talk about it a little bit more, get more information about it, then maybe that can influence or help guide how we may review the UPWP a different year. Because I think if we try to schedule it, it wouldn't mesh well for this cycle because Next meeting is going to be the retreat, and so that may be a place for them to also, to invite to show up. That's also an option, or if it's present maybe sometime in June or whatnot. It's totally, I think that is within our purview and doesn't require funding per se to have happen.
Right. Feels like the retreat's already pretty packed. I don't want to introduce a whole new topic there. I'm loath, as Ed said to do too. It's the only advantage about adding something else like ferries or something to the UPWP would be, in case there is some extra funding that comes up. And I really appreciate the kind of the rolling TIP that we have, that we locally have as well. It's a way to kind of develop projects rather than just choose projects. So.
Yes,
Fan of getting everything.
For everyone new, definitely the way that PRTPO functions is by us trying our best to lay down the groundwork for things to change and to give people the platform to do projects as well as voice their concerns for their counties and their jurisdictions that affects everyone in the region. So it's a very we're kind of we are the tortoise in this story, not the hare. So if it feels as if that you're struggling with the idea of like, well, we can just do this right now. It's a lot of us really trying to create the platform for those changes to happen. But over time, we can potentially have something, change or have some impact in different places. And also, it's also a good place to convene everyone to have conversations about certain things so that people can know what's happening in different spots and that kind of stuff as well. So, and I'm open to guest speakers. So whenever anyone has an idea about we should find someone, just drop me an email. I am okay with that. See what I can do.
Great.
We've got Wendy signing in right now.
Oh, great. Welcome, Wendy.
Hi,
Okay.
Wendy.
We've been discussing through the discussion portions of the agenda, but now that we have a quorum, I will call this regular meeting of the Executive Board of the Peninsula Regional Transportation Planning Organization to order, and we'll go back to the top of the agenda and first request approval of the agenda as such as it remains. Welcome a motion. I'm sorry, that was moved by Fred. Oh, Wendy's having audio problems. Maybe we should wait until. Can you hear us now, Wendy?
Oh,
It's not all here. Wendy, can you hear us? Now she's frozen. Might have to make that motion again in a little bit, Fred.
okay. Ooh.
Just turn off camera. Wendy, are you able to hear us?
Yes, she texted yes.
Okay, great. Okay, well, we'll consider that we still have a quorum, and we've got a motion on the floor to approve the agenda as presented. Welcome a second.
Second.
Second by Judy. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, we have an approval. We have an agenda rather, and we'll move on straight to the consent agenda. So we have invoice approval as well as the approval of the December 19th minutes. Does anyone see any things that needed changes, or I would welcome a motion to approve the consent agenda.
This is Nicole. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Cole, seconded by Judy. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, that is unanimous. All right, moving through it now. So as we've already done our annual check-in with WSDOT, with Joanne, and we have talked about UPWP. So we'll move to the Human Services Transportation Proposals.
I want to interject.
Um,
I was going to interject just to get Wendy up to speed, so she doesn't, she wasn't here for those sections.
Yep.
For the presentation, we will get the slides from Joanne, so you can see the slides that she presented on. And then of course, recording is also here for you to watch after as well. The main discussions around that time period was about the fish passage work, the Hood Canal Bridge and Long Luther King's work, fish passage specifically in Kitsap County and 101 roundabouts in Swim. So I just wanted to just give her a little brief there. Good to go, Craig. Sorry.
Thank you for that. So unless Wendy or someone else has any questions about that, we'll move on to the conversation about the HSTP and oh, good. Welcome back, Wendy. Thanks for being here.
Hey, I'm ready for the HSTP.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, you want to tee that off?
Sure. As was mentioned earlier, the Human Services Transportation Plan is done every 4 years. We last completed the plan in late 2022. At our December 25 meeting, the board, you all authorized us to go out for RFP or request for proposals. And we had 2 firms respond. One was Seva Workshop, a small firm out of Seattle, and the other one was 3P Transportation, which is Thera Black's firm out of Olympia. We had our scoring review committee that was made up of Amna, myself, a member from the TAC at the City of Shelton, and then also a member from the TAC from Jefferson Transit. We scored the 2 proposals and then summed up the scores, and 3P Transportation won. In your attachment, you'll see a draft consultant agreement between PRTPO and 3P Transportation, and then the proposal from 3P Transportation, and then an intent to award contract notice, which was sent out to both proposal submitters, Seva and 3P Transportation. And this project or this planning study is funded by the WSDOT Public Transportation Division. 3P Transportation had the lower of the 2 bids for a total of $64,448. And there's a total of $85,000 that was available in the grant. And we've spent some of that $85,000 with transition planning. PDT allowed us to do that to help bring AMNA on board and also out there at the same time in the final quarter of 2025. So we have plenty of money left in the grant to fully fund the Human Services Transportation Plan. If you approve this action item, our first sort of interaction with HSTP will be at the April board meeting and up at Jamestown S'Klallam Tribe. We have an item there where we're going to have a little bit of a workshop. And then there's going to be some public outreach through the spring and summer. And then we hope to bring a draft plan back to you in August of this year, and then finalize it in the October timeframe. So I'm asking for your approval to go ahead and award the contract to 3P Transportation in the amount of not to exceed $64,448.
Thanks, Ed. Wendy, question or comment?
Oh, no, I was going to move approval of the contract as Ed proposed, not to exceed $64,000.
Thank you.
So we could have some discussion if you care to. I am curious if the remaining money could help produce a more robust website with the information that's gleaned from the conclusion of the study.
We have spent much of the remaining funds from the $85,000 on the transition services for with our new staff member. We will have a little bit left over, and that's a very good idea. And I encourage at the April meeting that we bring that up.
let's get a second before we do too much discussion. Gary, do you have a question or a second?
I was raising my hand to second the motion.
Thank you. All right, now we can continue with conversation. Seconded by Gary. Any other thoughts?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Brenda.
I just need to be reminded, who can vote on these proposals? Is it the alternate? I think there's two of us here from Bainbridge Island, so I want to make sure that we're represented, and we don't know much yet, but we're going to want to be able to participate.
Right. I think if the alternate is here, I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, but if the alternate is here and the primary isn't, then the alternate can vote. Otherwise, it would be the primary that votes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I mean, I looked through it. Obviously, I mean, 3P brings a lot of immediate context as well as planning experience in the transportation sector for a long time. So it seems easy to support this. Yeah, lowest bid and most qualified bid, it seems like. So that's great.
It seems like we've used them before.
Yes.
Yes, there. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions or comments before I call the question? Okay. All in favor of the motion on the floor to approve the contract to 3P Transportation and a not to exceed contract of $64,400 indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that is unanimous. Great. Excited to work with Sarah again. She was gone right when I got here, so I'm excited that she's still going to be with us through the HSTP. All right. We had kind of put off the retreat planning conversation. Are you ready to do that, Amna? I can't remember who you were looking for. Okay, take it away.
Okie dokie. So last meeting in December, we mentioned the idea of having a retreat planning group to help with the agenda and the theme of the retreat in April. From that, we were able to have a decent discussion about what is a good topic to entice everyone to participate and for the PRTPO to get something out of it at the end. And so we've been able to kind of themed it as connectivity and coordination, the good and the bad, with the idea of creating a discussion around successful coordination in the region, as well as challenges we face in the region, and how can we reduce those issues and conflicts. And the main skinny of the agenda, which is also attached to the packet at the end, I think it's the last page, is for us to have the sign-in, sign in and copy in the beginning, then have our regular board meeting, which we will discuss HSTP, maybe the Long Live the King presentation, for which I'm still recording about, but it could be put there. As well as the UPWP amendment, of course, is a big discussion during this time in April. From there, we have an idea for an icebreaker that Greg is fleshing out, which will try to imitate traffic flows in order to mix members up in different tables, and so that we're able to have a mixture of different people from different counties in one table, instead of having all the same counties at one spot. And then for introduction, knowing that we have new members here and may have some guests, we have an introduction section, which explains what PRTPO is and what it does, and then also do HSTP just to flag it as well there. That could be a slot for Ed's update, and a little more of a workshop or kind of getting feedback from other people who were not there during the board meeting. Then from there, we had this idea of having a presentation about different projects happening in the area, such as a Belfair bypass, Hood Canal Bridge, roundabouts, and ODT. And with this, you're just wanting to, trying to pick the ear of the TAC as well as the board on what their experiences are doing these projects in the region and what their experiences are relating to challenges and successes. And so I will be asking folks here for their comments and their ideas for that, and use that as a platform to start a conversation. And then we would, if it's possible, we would like to have maybe a outside activity of us walking on the ODT in the area and see if someone from the tribe can just walk us around. It can be short, it don't have to be that long. We just really want to have people out and seeing the actual fruits of our labor, if you can say, about our work. From there, we want to do a lunch. And the idea is that if we do have guests, we have the idea of having guests where they can have a table in the area where we can talk to them about it during the lunchtime as well to create a networking activity with that. Some guests are washed up within this, of course. The Olympic Peninsula Tourism Commission, the Kitsap Economic Development Alliance, Emergency Management, and then WASH associated development organizations as well. With the idea of some folks on this list to also present after lunch. We have it marked as FIFA and summer tourism. Maybe coordination about how we can coordinate better as a region on promoting either transit or transportation, different projects going on, to make it more cohesive for everyone. Maybe we had an idea of having Olympic and Kitsap be the front runners for that presentation. Lastly, from gathering the information as well from you guys about successes and challenges, we want to have discussion about that at the tables and try to bring things into perspective that may help us with coordinating in the future with our guests, as well as WSDOT and each other. And then finally have closing remarks. And then I had that idea is to have a group photo just to commemorate the occasion of us being together. And I can use that photo every time I can for any kind of invitations in the future. And so that is the gist of what we think we have as a plan. I would say, additional to that, we have decided to have the layout to be the same as last year, where you have the board you set up on half of the room, and the other half of the room is the tables and the food as well. So yeah. That's what we have. Oh, it's 10 it'll be from 9:30-ish for early birds to come there. But it was officially start at 10 o'clock and end at 3. So it's the same time period as last year. Are there any comments on this idea? And as well as the agenda? This seems very packed. It's really tentative and trying to figure out how to make this all work. And I know that folks may have a lot of opinions about how we can make this look better, cohesive, and promote it better. So I would love to hear some comments.
Thoughts, and it's the last page of the packet has the draft agenda, so you can run straight to that. But what do people think?
Come on, I know everyone's excited about April.
I'm excited about it. Go ahead, Wendy.
I'm excited about it. No, I think 10 to 3, it sounds really doable to cram that much information in. And I think it sounds great that it's an agenda that draws us together. And if you're in person, you're going to really get a lot out of it. And then did you also mention that there would be a Zoom option, or are we going to just, I don't know, record the meeting and make it available later?
That's a good question. I was thinking about that as well, and I was wondering how the setup is at the location to see how that's possible to make it, still be good. I know that for me, I think I would want to. Well, I usually record anyway. The board meetings I want to be recorded regardless for prosperity. But I wasn't thinking about recording the rest of the retreat, only the board section.
Yeah, the board section makes sense. You have to do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty big room. It's a big enough room that it would be a full-time person to attend to the camera if you wanted to do that. So I'm not recommending that, but anything that puts us in the U-shape table formation, we probably could keep a camera on that.
Wendy, do you know if is there like a system set up at all? I mean, an owl camera or anything that's part of that room? I've never been in Red Cedar Hall where it was at all hybrid or even recorded. I haven't experienced it.
Yeah, it can be hybrid. Yeah, and you can meet with the IT group ahead of time and make sure that your expectations are fully described so that they can let you down easy if something can't be done. But I think that that it sounds like this is something that we want to, if at all possible, people should come and enjoy the great time together, the great lunch. But if you get to the point where you're saying it'd be better to make it hybrid because somebody really can't be there, but they're one of our speakers, we want to make sure that we supply you the support you need.
Great. Thanks. And Amna, are you thinking that the committee for the retreat planning is going to get together again to kind of finalize these things? That'd be an opportunity too to talk about. Do we need to go talk to the IT group at Jamestown Slalom about hybrid options for the meeting itself or any of that?
Yeah, I can reach out ahead of time to see about the options, and then I can present it to the group, and get the logistics down a little bit better. With that being said, logistic also too. I saw on the forum, Wendy, that it asked that we wanted coffees additional $25. Is that covered under you guys under the lunch, your grant, or that's a separate?
Yeah, your checklist that you're preparing with the committee will be the basis of what it would normally cost a group who was not affiliated with Jamestown. And then those costs become what I take away and provide to WSDOT and say, please reimburse the tribe. And, if there are other costs that Kitsap Transit is bearing to commit to the incidentals of preparing a meeting of this depth, then please let me know and we'll talk about it and see if we can put into the budget.
Yeah, I'm hoping to not add anything besides coffee to the budget.
Oh yeah.
Tea too. I like tea. So
I assume
water.
the coffee comes with tea. I assume those are all introduced to each other. I think the coffee is more expensive or the expensive one of the
Probably.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have quite the commercial kitchen that I'll even show you, Ed, how to make the coffee. So
Okay.
We'll be in fine supply of coffee.
We'll be there early.
You got it.
Great. Steve?
Steve?
Yeah, I just looking at the agenda and I see one of the items is ODT gaps, and it looks like a focus might be a walk along, which will certainly take that half hour. I know the tribe's got some great stuff right there to look at, but if there's interest in looking at overall ODD gaps, and we have a number of big gaps throughout the county to get to La Push, Clallam would be willing to help with any presentation on that.
Okay, that's wonderful. That'll be nice to have a presentation, a joint one. We're looking at the idea of just having having us to see the trail right at the actual facility, to kind of see how it blends into each other. But we definitely want to see more about it. So I think have a presentation that includes the other gaps in total and images and showcase. You guys can do a joint with that. Also, with that being said, Wendy, are you guys, who would I contact for potentially doing that kind of activity?
Probably me. I'll help you all I can. That's fine.
Okay.
So you're just saying that you're not trying to get people into vehicles and shuttling them, right? No. Okay, that would be someone else. But I can still help you with that if you needed to have a shuttle vehicle.
Okay.
But we're also wondering, Wendy, do you think there's someone from the Jamestown S'Klallam tribe that would be interested in kind of leading a little walk and talk on the trail?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, and well, see, that was kind of like part of last time we tried to do the summit. Our weather was so blustery. The best we could do, which I thought was ace job of it, was walk across the parking lot, get into warm quarters of the brand new Heron Hall, see the cultural exhibit, turn around and come back, and it was so incredibly inclement weather that we had to cancel the walk. But the walk is something that I would like to go back and head towards the east, show the DOT salmon projects, which are within easy reach of just walking the trail. And if we did get down to the very end, that would be a fascinating experience, I hope, for how we have this ODT regional trail that's all linked up, but there are still gaps that that each jurisdiction is working on, and the tribe is working on too currently. And I would be happy to walk you to my project sites.
Excellent. I think we found our tour, Amna. Tour guide.
Okay, well,
and for those who don't want to go on this walk, again, just repeating what we did last time, going to the cultural exhibit is a fine experience, not to be missed.
Yeah,
And Wendy,
it almost blew us into the water. And
you remember that? Yeah.
I do remember that. And I said I went right back into the conference center because it was just too windy. It was, but there were some brave souls out there.
Well, hopefully we have better weather. But I'm wondering, Wendy, is that 30 minutes that is slated right now appropriate for that walk that you had planned last time?
I know where to stop and then turn around and get back in time for 30 minutes. If you gave me 45, we could keep on going. So and walk the length of the gap. But 30 minutes
So maybe
is fine with
45.
everybody. 45 would be even better to be able to give some cushion.
Gotcha. And it is right before lunch too. So, right? Yeah. So it could be kind of a flexible thing. I'm sure that not everyone wants to go on a 45-minute walk, but everyone that wants to go on this walk, I think we want to make sure it's accessible.
Yeah. No, I think it's literally 15 minutes, one direction, turn around and come back.
Is there anyone else on the list that I had as invites? Is okay. Do you want, or anyone you want to add? In addition to that is the big conversation being about successes and challenges. Is that also okay for me to get good feedback from you guys, or does that seem kind of weird of a request? Silence means everything's good. Okay.
And I just want to note that Laura Moxham, who is the Public Transportation Division representative out in this region, will be attending. Laura is interested in the HSTP. So let's be friendly to Laura. She's paying for the HSTP.
Great.
And if I could tack onto that, Chairman Brotherton, that the people who have provided the underwriting for this event also would like to come out, and they are the tribal liaisons to the Public Transportation Division. And I think that they are conducting a survey right now, and I would be pleased to have them share their results so we know what kind of work they're doing in the region to bring more options to rural Olympic Peninsula.
That's great. I mean, Amna, do you see, sorry, I'm going back between our current agenda and that one, but that would be maybe part of the ODT gaps or something, that part of the conversation there? Is the survey about the ODT? Sorry,
Oh,
Wendy,
no,
can
I'm
you?
sorry. It's general. It's
It's
completely
general.
general. Yeah, I think that if I'll, they may be only halfway through their survey results, so maybe it's just an announcement that this is what they're working on, and to be aware when they come knocking at your door that they want to start talking to your employees. So it may be just part of the regular board meeting where they introduce themselves. Maybe it can be as just as limited as that.
I see you, Steve, but I'm wondering, Wendy, if we do get the planning committee back together, do you think would you be available to join us there? It seems like you're kind of our person on the ground there a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do some proofing of anything that requires agenda making. That'd be great.
Great. Thank you, Wendy. Steve.
Yeah, maybe one other thing for the planning committee to think about, given a tight schedule, is you could do the kind of an ODT gap presentation with everybody in the building, looking at all the gaps in Jefferson, the tribe, and the county, and then maybe use the weather's good, the tour, the walking tour, kind of a walking lunch for folks that want to join in that. Just something to think about given the tight schedule.
I like it. And I'm sure that we have Public Works, Jefferson County Public Works folks on the TAF, but we can invite a collaboration, one map, printing out one big map that shows the whole path and the gaps would be a really good device for both Clallam County and Jefferson County and Jamestown to all talk about the gaps and the plan. It's such a massive project, so it'd be good to have everyone there.
I'm getting excited. I have my brain is moving around to how to make this look very pretty for us, and I'm very excited about that. So.
Great. Other thoughts?
I think I have one more.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, I'll lower my hand. I just was attending a tribal organization. They call themselves TTPO. And it was basically a summit that was 4 hours long. They invited the Department of Licensing to their meeting to discuss all the ramifications of the recent changes in law to driver's education and to licensing. And then they had a Washington State Safe Transportation Safety Commission, a person there that was able to translate all the different problems that we're having statewide with safety events. And that was very a good bookend of like, this is what's happening in the world because of young drivers. And then this is what's the statistics are showing us and all the changes that are going to happen in the future. You sound like your committee has a really thick agenda, but I just would like to propose that that they would be happy to come out here. They did it about a year ago where they came to a TTPO meeting at Red Cedar Hall, and they did a really good job of presenting their information.
That I can also think about if we have as we finalize the agenda to make it less bulky, we can see how they can come in. If they're not able to present, we can also add them as a list of the guests to be there during the lunchtime. Or I think that information you're talking about can also be included into the overall PRTPO presentation section where we can showcase these different data points. And I think that will also help with the discussion of us discussing our concerns in the region as well. That made my brain tingle. I appreciate that addition.
Yeah. They're the folks that marry up well if you're having a safety discussion. And because the laws are changed, I think we're still in that quiet period of not understanding how the departments are implementing the changes in law. So yeah, for further thought.
Great. Thanks, Wendy. You definitely have to come to the planning committee. Also wondering about Optic and the Kits app. Have you reached out to them, Amna, yet, or do you need? I know I was supposed to get you contacts, and I don't think I did. So I don't know if we've made those connections about talking about World Cup and planning
No,
around.
I haven't made those connections yet. I really wanted to get the board's support before reaching out to folks, and they were like, "Well, technically, we can't come." I didn't want to get their hopes up, and then we changed the entire approach. So I have that in my back pocket to start reaching out to folks and get that moving ASAP. I am speed running this. It's gonna be great.
Great. So, folks have any concerns about that kind of tourism focus vis-a-vis the planning around the World Cup and everything? It just seemed pretty topical when we were getting together.
I'll raise my hand.
Go ahead, Wendy.
Just a question. Can we invite other people just to attend that segment? Like I've been reaching out to the Chamber of Commerce and the Visitor Convention Bureau of Olympic Peninsula, and they seem interested. And I know they probably have their own sensibilities to pursue what the heck is going on. But when I shared the letter that the PRTPO wrote and everybody signed off on it, they were super impressed that the PRTPO could be so proactive. And yeah, I would just like to drill down and say, hey, you're welcome to come. But if having too many people at the meeting that are visitors is a problem, I understand that too.
I think it sounds great.
From my side, the retreat is supposed to be a way of us, it's for us to get together, but it's also for us to move our agenda and our strategic outlook forward as well. And so this is a way of promoting those initiatives. I believe that should be fine to extend it out to other people, unless anyone has as opposed to that idea.
Public meeting as well. So, I mean, more the merrier. I've never, too many people came to our meeting. No, I think it's great.
Okay.
So Chambers of Commerce for Olympic and who else?
The Visitor Convention Bureau. Yeah, Port Angeles Chamber of Commerce. You know what's funny is that the Chamber of Commerce for Port Angeles just made a tickler of an announcement that a very fancy cruise liner that's privately owned by a bunch of millionaires are hopping on their own boat and coming out to Port Angeles for 4th of July in order to make their next stop FIFA. And so I think we already been tapped on the shoulder of what the impact is, but my goodness, a cruise line is a lot different than putting, everybody driving out. So just, it kind of blows my mind. So this is going to be a great session for our transportation summit.
Great. Any other thoughts or concerns? Really, speak now or forever hold your peace about concerns, as we have to start writing in ink here pretty quickly. All right. Like Amna, I'm going to take silence as overwhelming support. We'll move on. Let's back up to the other agenda. So, we've got a conflict. Juneteenth is on our June meeting, unless no one has anything else. So, we've got a couple options for June. Do we want to do it on June 12th or 26th? And it looks like there's a recommendation not to do the 26th, which is a day of a soccer game, a football game. Though it will be a remote meeting, so it's not like we'll be dealing with the massive traffic, but there's do people have a preference between the 12th and the 26th?
The 12th is a graduation day for this community that I'm residing in.
Hmm.
I think it's okay if I'm not there. It's not a big deal. Just wanted to share what I'm seeing in my calendar.
Yeah, it's graduation down here too.
I won't be able to attend on the 26th, but that shouldn't stop anybody.
All right, we're gonna miss some people on either of those days. No problem from Judy. I can be flexible. It is graduation week here, but take 2 hours out of it for the meeting, I can certainly accommodate.
Yeah.
June
Go ahead,
20
Gunnar.
Yeah.
Gunnar?
Sorry, June 26th is also an RPEC meeting date.
Sounds like June 12th is the better day to post a special meeting.
I'm good with that. Thank you.
Okay. Is that enough on that, Amna?
I'm not sure if we need to do a vote on that, since it is changing our normal meeting time to a different day altogether. Ed, you saying no? I'm not sure.
No, it's usually the chair could set up a special meeting. I demand that power.
You've got it.
All right.
It's a new day here. We got a new sheriff.
Okay. So that takes care of that. And let me know if I can help with that. We've already talked about the update on the Hood Canal Bridge. Thanks for including all that information in the packet. And I guess, are we on to the coordinator update? Is this you, Amna?
We did it before, but I just wanted to add that we did have a meeting with the AWC risk. What region it is their risk management division. It's under our it's covered under our AAC membership. It's basically a service that allows us to reduce our risk during kind of litigation that may happen at PRTPO. We had a meeting with them a couple of weeks ago. They had another meeting with them again with the executive committee, and they're getting back to us about any additional requirements you have to do to keep us covered under their service. One of the requirements is that every elected official must go through the recommended trainings that you guys are doing through your own jurisdiction. They have said that if that training is covered, if you've done it before, it's fine. They just want us to make sure we have documentation of that. One way of addressing that is that we're thinking about having it requested upon any litigation to prove to prove you have been through that training, instead of trying to get everyone's information all at once for all of the I think 30+ members that we have, I believe. And the second of that is to have additional trainings for continuing education related to things such as cyber security and workers harassment, those kind of things. Again, if that's covered under the jurisdiction you're working with, it should be fine. It just be requested upon any issue related to you with the PRTPO during any kind of litigation. And lastly, about them that I thought was significant, I believe that is all I have for them. I think that's the main two things I was concerned about. If there's anything that comes up that we have to change the approach, we may ask for more information from you guys to showcase your training coverage. But besides that, I think that's the gist of it. Anything to add to that, Ed?
Yeah, just
can I just
go ahead.
I'm sorry, really quick. I have some issues. I mean, I think probably most of the elected officials and most of the staff have to go through all the required trainings, but we also have to document it all, and checking to make sure we have the appropriate training after litigation seems a little late. So I guess I might be more in favor of like an email out to all the board members with the training that you need to have, and just, if someone doesn't have it, let you know. I mean, we can all be proactive enough to check to make sure that we are doing. I mean, we're doing anti-harassment, OPMA, public record. I don't know. I assume I'm doing all the training, but another agency that I sit on the board with, had a cyber security issue, and because of the quick response and the training was robust, they ended up not even having to pay the deductible. So I just feel like being a little more, spending a little more time now is probably be worth it. But sorry, Ed, I cut you off.
Oh, no worries,
Yes.
sure. That's a good point. I just want to note that this doesn't apply to our tribal members due to their sovereignty.
So
Okay,
would
I
it be
will
okay,
send
Amna, to send out a note to the non-tribal members of the board, just like these are the trainings that you should have, and we don't have to keep it, but just make sure that everyone spends a little time making sure that they are up to date or have at least taken the training once.
Yes.
Great. And as Judy said, we do get certificates. I mean, I don't know, we used No before, so we have certificates that we could produce, but just looking at the certificates I have would be enough, I think. You don't have to. I agree that PRTPO shouldn't have to have a database of everyone's trainings and being prompting people to do them. So I do agree with that.
No problem.
Okay. Anything else on the trainings, or anything else that you wanted to report out, Amna?
Nope, nothing for me. Do you have anything additional, Ed?
No, we got our work cut out for us over the next month or so it's exciting. Looking
Busy
forward to the
time.
retreat and then everything in between. We are meeting, actually I have one thing, we are meeting with WSDOT Tribal and Regional Planning to review our UPWP. We do that every year. It's on March 26th at 10 a.m. It's a pretty relaxed meeting usually, unless we have a major issue. I don't see one coming up, but we'll definitely, if there is an issue, we will let you know. And Chair, if you want to attend or appoint a board member to attend, feel free to do that as well. And it's via Teams, I think. Yeah. And they'll actually, Amna, I think they'll be here in person also.
Yes, they're in person.
So we've got both. Yeah, Teams and in person.
Send me a Teams invite and I will look at my
Oh, I couldn't hear you, Chair.
Oh, I said send me a Teams invite and
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Is anyone else having troubles?
He's having the same problems I had to begin with.
No.
You can hear him barely, but he's so muted.
Just barely. He's going to try to fix that issue, but.
No?
There you are.
You can hear me.
Yep. Loud and clear.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened. I didn't get any,
I don't know.
Notification that my internet was unstable or anything. But yeah, I'd be happy to join you on Teams. I probably won't make it in person, but please send me an invite and I'll try to fit it in if I can.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on to the public comment period. I don't know if we have anyone from the public with us, but if you'd like to make a comment, and I'd welcome staff or the board as well, you can hit the raise hand button and we'd love to hear from you.
No public is here today.
All right. I will close public comment and then we'll move on to a quick round table. Anyone that would like, any members that would like to make an update for PRTPO, this is the time to shine a spotlight on your own region. And of course, with the rules that AMNO already established, that means everyone's very excited about it, but maybe no actual updates to share. Go ahead, Nicole.
Jefferson Transit is doing a public outreach kind of event right now. We are looking to add Sunday service starting Sunday, May 3rd. So we're doing some public outreach right now to get some feedback from the community. But just know that that's coming. Hopefully, as long as it's board approved, wink, wink, Commissioner Brotherton. But we're looking to add Sunday service on May 3rd. So very excited about that.
Exciting. Thanks, Nicole. Anyone else?
I guess I will share since Nicole kind of started and broke the ice, and probably is going to be most beneficial to Amy and Nicole, but I'll share it with the group that we just received a notification a couple days ago of being awarded a $15 million grant to build our new training facilities. So Nicole and Amy, it's going to be coming to a neighborhood near you. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
That's great. Where is it going to go, John? Like how close? Where?
Well, we went through a site analysis process, and we identified a piece of ground out by the industrial park near the Bremerton Airport. So it's going to be very close between Amy and I. And Nicole, I think you could probably fly down with your corporate jet and land at the Bremerton National Airport. So it should be close.
You should do a grant application for that. That's a good 5339. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I'd give you a letter of support, Nicole, if you did that.
That's great. Anyone else with an update they'd like to share? Well, I guess that takes us to the end of the agenda. I'll just one more time. Anything for the good of the order from any of our members? All right. Well, it's exciting. The next time we'll all be in person. I hope everyone can make it out and reach out. We should, it seems like, have one more planning meeting before the retreat, and happy to coordinate. And I know Nicole and Randy, and we've just volunteered Wendy as well to join us as the hometown expert. Great. Okay. With that, we'll give everyone 15 minutes back in their day, and we are adjourned. Have a lovely weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Take care.